This all started when my daughters told me, hey, I have a wish list. I'd like to see a koala that's real in person. I want to see a movie set for a movie I've seen. I want to go to an aquarium with a tunnel and see a Broadway style musical like a chase. And try some new foods and, of course, shopping. Architecture would be pretty awesome too. So, who has all this stuff? Cleveland. So, our first stop was the Cleveland MetroParks Zoo. If you happen to have a zoo membership, such as the Buffalo Zoo, you get half off discount. So when we saw the koala, it was our first stop. And the exhibit was really cool because you got up and close. And although he didn't really move much, this was our first stop as a priority. We also saw a dingo because we've never seen one before. While we were there was a baby gorilla born. We did not see much of the gorilla or the sloth, but you might. Also, I want to tell you that compared to the Buffalo Zoo, the Cleveland Zoo is humongous. The elephant exhibit alone is worth a trip. Plus, you get a lot closer to the animals, sometimes a little uncomfortably close. Like this tiger seemed uncomfortably close. We also saw black bears and other animals that you don't see at our home zoo. Let's talk aquariums. The Cleveland Aquarium was incredible compared to Niagara Falls. There were touch tanks and animals, and you could actually put your hand in and touch the stingrays. My daughter was a little nervous, but I certainly did, and they're slimy, but very, very cool experience. In addition, they have these gigantic tanks of sharks, and you are right up against the glass, and these are the kind of ones you would never want to see in the wild, but up close, they're pretty cool. And the tunnel, yep, that was on the wish list. And it is long and is under the water, and you see all the fish going all around you, which is an awesome experience. This made my daughter's trip for sure.
Choppy chop!
Look at it, right over us.
Big choppy
Look at
chop!
that! Right over us.
Whoa! Mommy!
I think
That
that's
is so cool.
Oh, there's the center. Ooh, that was so just went over us. Like, hey, a baby shark!
Yeah.
The aquarium is this,
Here's a little tip. We actually got there close to closing time and went backwards through the exhibits and went back to the stingray exhibit because she wanted to see it one last time. And at the time, it was near closing, and the aquarium keepers were feeding the stingrays. So they asked her, hey, do you want to join us in feeding them? And so my daughter got a chance to feed squid in a tank full of stingrays, which was a really cool experience that she'll never forget. I don't know if they do this for everyone, but we got lucky. Playhouse Square. This is similar to the downtown theater district of Buffalo, New York, but it is much, much bigger and fancier. Not only are there more theaters, but there's this giant chandelier hanging above the main intersection, and it is very, very cool. There's also these scooters that you can rent, and there's like a code on the top from this bird app, and it'll tell you the rates. So we did not rent them because my daughter was not old enough to ride. We went to Chocolate Bar for dinner and got alcoholic and non-alcoholic chocolate martinis because, hey, on a girls' trip, why not? We saw a show at the Conner Theater. We also stayed at the Crowne Plaza, mostly because it was in the heart of everything. It had a pool, but because of COVID, it was not open. And it did not have free breakfast, which is usually on my mandatory list. But it was a good place to stay anyway. The next thing we did is we headed over to the Christmas Story house. Now, this famous Christmas movie is not that expensive to get into. There's a gift store immediately off the street, and you see that famous leg lamp. Well, you see it from the inside and from the outside. Then you get to tour the entire house. It's set up for Christmas, and you do, in fact, get to see that Red Ryder BB gun. In fact, you can even pick up and pose with it if you choose. You get to look through the rest of the house, too, and see where, Ralphie lived and where his family lived and all of the famous sites. Next up, we're going to head to the Great Lakes Science Center. This place is complete with more hands-on activities and adventures than are probably necessary. So it was awesome. Look at speed and velocity. You have to make airplanes and learn about aerodynamics and watch how fast they go. You can learn about how your human body makes magnets and even go to a dome theater to be inside of a real tornado, or a simulated tornado. This was awesome. Taking a look at architecture, we took a look around, and if you're in Cleveland, be sure to look for those guitars. Those really cool guitars are all over the city, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, of course, there. We did not visit it, but you will. We did some shopping and found some great finds. The Market District is an awesome place to go. There are all kinds of opportunities to try some new foods and just walk around and look at the sights. While you're there, be sure to try a Buckeye. Oh, now, all in all, this was Cleveland. I encourage you to follow us because there's lots more family trip ideas that I'm happy to share. Following is free. Take care.